Okay, I believe we are live, and we're up against a huge baseball game. Oh my God, it's casual. We never miss a show. You'd have to have like death to miss a show, or lose a limb or something. So let's play that. Let's play that opening music and get things rolling.
All right, so we'll roll that beautiful bean footage. Here we go.
It's casual, not formal. It's hosted by Rory Pendlin. Oh, with Jonathan.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
It's time to.
He opted out for the game. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go!
Ah! It stopped.
Don't.
It did that to us. It did that to me the other minute too. Well, we're just gonna have to go because either
It's been that kind of day.
It's that type of day, but it's okay because we need as much time as we can because you invited 14 guests, so that's okay, right? We might
15.
have up to 14 guests today. So
15.
15, a whole, oh my gosh. So I gotta get out of here and just start calling out names, and I'll be putting people up. Robert has also joined us. Robin has also joined us.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad they got through okay. All right. Well, let's bring Felicia up, or I should say Winifred. Winifred Sanderson from Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
How are you this evening, my dear?
Horribly.
Horrible.
Horribly wonderful.
Horribly wonderful. Well, I can imagine you're over the moon now because you have a sequel. You have a sequel coming out to your movie, Hocus Pocus. And they just started filming this month in Rhode Island, I believe. They're filming in Rhode Island. So this is one of the characters that you, Felicia Lynn, play when you go out, and you're doing this character this month, obviously.
Yes.
So, and you have two other ladies that perform the other Sanderson sisters with you.
Yes.
Which is Mary and Sarah, right? Are the other two?
Correct.
So, tell me what it's like to get in front of a crowd. I mean, where do you perform these characters usually?
Well, at Halloween, it can be at malls. We've done it a few times at the Plantation Mall over here, and at the Fountains. And this year we're at Sunrise Civic Center, and we're doing like a Rocky Horror type thing where they're going to watch the movie, and then at the point where Winifred sings, "I've got a spell on you," we're going to come out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we're
do a live show in front of the audience like they did, like you said, with Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror. And then as soon as and that it happens about an hour.
Horror.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with that. Yeah, he's a Rocky Horror, that guy. Rocky Horror. Say it like Boris Karloff. Horror.
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 Yeah. It's hard to talk in these teeth too.
I love the teeth, by the way, and I'm sure that all the scare actors who know me very well that are in the green room are laughing right now that I said that, because I used to do a lot of teeth. Still do.
Like Jerry Lewis used to do a lot of teeth.
Hey lady.
Yeah, hey lady.
I was actually out having dinner with my daughter Sunday night, and we went to Red Lobster here, and there is a waitress, and her name is Lady. She doesn't spell it L-A-D-Y. She spells it L-A-Y-T-E or something like that. So every time she left the table, was out of earshot, I'd be like, "Hey, lady!" And my daughter's like, "Stop it! You're being mean." I'm like, "I'm not doing it to her face. Come on." It's funny. There's a guy, Jerry Lewis. He used to do it all the time. "Hey, lady!"
I know. It's true.
So, okay. So you'll be doing this at the Civic Center later this week.
Yes.
Okay.
On the 30th.
Okay. But this is not the only character you do.
No.
I'm hoping that Renee is ready to show some pictures now of you doing different people. You sing. You're actually a very good singer. I've heard you do Patsy Cline. I've heard you do Reba McEntire.
Mm-hmm.
So
Girls. ABBA girls.
Yeah.
I've even done Lady Gaga.
Yes. We have I don't think we have a picture that Renee can pull up, but yes, you sent me a picture of Lady Gaga.
Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, I didn't know you did Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah. Olivia Newton-John, Grease tribute. Lots of different tributes. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that on your Facebook page.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure what that was. I saw that it was some kind of 50s. I saw you in the pink outfit, and it didn't dawn on me you were doing. Oh, that's me. There's Cam. These are some scare actor pictures for later. Jonathan, me as Shugor.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
There you are. That's Lucy.
Lucy.
Yeah, Lucille Ball.
Yeah, this is actually an inverted Lucille Ball wig.
An inverted Lucille Ball wig.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Down, and I sewed it in.
For Winifred when it's backwards. Good to know.
Back when I started doing Winifred.
There's the Andrew sisters.
There they are. Back when I started doing Winifred, they didn't have a Winifred wig. And so
you improvised.
Creative.
And it looks good. Yeah. And there are the other two girls with you.
Yep.
The one who's doing Kathy and Jimmy is great. She's got the lip thing going and everything.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. She's no longer with me. I mean, yeah, she's actually working as in the Civic Center over in Miami.
There's Cyndi Lauper.
Cindy, yep.
I bet that's a fun concert. I actually have a cousin-in-law who's played with Cyndi Lauper.
Oh,
she was on the show a couple weeks ago. Cherish Alexander. There's Patsy Cline.
Yep. I've
heard you do Patsy. You do great, Patsy.
Yeah. Still get a lot of requests for her, and now, a lot of the women that were performing as Patsy are not performing as Patsy anymore, for various different reasons, and so she's getting harder to find. So it's kind of nice that I'll be able to carry that on, and it'll become popular again.
She's a great one to do for. I mean, they when I was doing cruise ships, doing Roy Orbison, we always had a Patsy Cline. So for the Legends of Music show. So yeah, she's one of the ones to go to. But yeah, I can see how Cyndi Lauper would be very popular now, and Lady Gaga, of course, because they're more up to date. Do you do cruise ship work, or have you ever? I know you've done work in lounges, restaurants and bars and things, and
being married, I don't really. Honestly, I don't go out on cruise ships.
Okay.
It takes
I think we found out what you're afraid of. This is a question I was going to ask everybody on the show. What are you afraid of? Afraid to go out on boats? No, nothing. Honestly, nothing. I just don't like to be away from my husband that long. Understood. The ones that I went out on, they would send them out twice a day just to go gambling. They would go out 20 miles. They would turn on the slot machines and then open up the tables, take the money, and you were back in 7 hours. So they would do two cruises a day. Yes, the gambling cruise ships. I was approached by the one over in West Palm when it was around. I'm not sure if it's around anymore. Especially now with everything that's going on. Well, well, actually, they're opening up the cruise ships again now. I've got friends who are working again on the cruise ships, and I'm like, oh, really? Well, I guess they're not the Florida cruise ships. Well, they are doing the 1 and 2 week cruises again, and you have to either have your Vax card or you have to be negative if you don't have your Vax card, and you actually have to test negative, from my understanding, in every port that you go to. So if you're in Mexico and you don't test negative,
it's not going to be good.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stay there for 2 weeks, right? In quarantine, and then find another way home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would stink.
Yeah.
No doubt. So, what kind of work do you enjoy the most? I mean, where do you enjoy doing your thing, the celebrity impersonation, the most?
You know, it just varies. You know, I think the audience really just makes it, you know. So, I mean, I've done it in bars, I've done it in large ballrooms. The
Mhm.
audience is really what makes it. Like, you know, if they're cheering on with Patsy and laughing with her, um, it's fun. I mean, I've done it, like I said, from small places like assisted livings, you know, to bars, to
Mhm.
banquet rooms, to, you know, large stages. So it's just the
And
audience.
private parties. I've seen that you did Marilyn Monroe happy birthday parties,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think Renee has one of those wigs. I think she's got that wig, the same one you've got. I'm not sure, but maybe we'll have you compare after the show.
Yeah.
So, so now after Halloween, what do you got coming up?
Um, caroling.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
all
You do
about
caroling as well.
caroling. Yeah, it's all about caroling. I do have a couple Patsy Clines in that month.
Hmm.
And, you know, I wear the red and white outfit, so it's like a little bit of Patsy, a little bit of Christmas,
A little bit of Christmas, a little bit of Patsy,
little,
a
little
little bit
bit
of country.
on my tree. Yeah. No. So yeah, and then it's the caroling season, so we're just busy caroling all over the place. We're going to be doing Dania Point. We've got a couple country clubs in West Palm, a couple private parties in Miami. So
I was going to ask you what kind of venues that you do the caroling at, but yeah.
honestly, I really try to work with my clients, be it a small family or, you know, a large corporate event. However, sometimes, you know, the budget's just not there, and I can't send my carolers out for $50 on a
Oh,
Christmas Eve, you know, and it's, you know, it's the most popular night we have. And, you know, that's when,
yeah.
you know, it's like Santa Claus, you know, Santa Claus charges up to $1,000 that night, you know, so.
Just how that came out. It was like, really, Santa Claus charges 1,000 to come to. No. You just put the cookies out. No, seriously. Don't tell the children.
Right.
Don't tell the children Santa charging big bucks. It's a big night for him.
I want to work with Santa, and then she can smell more children.
There you go. That's Winifred talking. That's who's talking now.
Yeah.
Winifred's killing the Santa thing now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and dressing up for us.
Yeah.
I actually thought to ask, maybe I actually thought about dressing up tonight and just getting some of my scare actor friends to dress up. But you know, I just want to tell stories. I want to talk. But I'm so glad you did, and it looks great. And I wish you all the luck this week with your performances. And again, into the caroling season with your performances. And again, we'll have to get you back on to sing for us sometime.
Yes, I would love that.
That would be great. So I'll be
You've come
talking.
a long way since it's casual, Rory.
The other is casual. Yeah, you were back in Tampa at that time. So yeah, it's no live call-ins, no abuse. I mean, not much abuse. Not as much.
About how terrible it was, you know, how I don't know what it was going through Vietnam, and that was crazy.
Oh man. Did I actually have you come on to do something like that? Wow, I have totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, we just like, it was in
I had
Tampa.
people come on do the weirdest stuff. Right? And some of it was Jim Moss, you know, egging me on to do really weird stuff on the show. One of the favorite clips that my producer likes, Renee, is we had one of our camera techs come on as Bill the Nothing Guy.
Oh.
He absolutely just sits and watches TV all day, does nothing. That's his whole thing. And lives in a house with like 23 people, and we created this weird story for him, Bill the Nothing Guy, because our guest bailed out at the last minute. So anyway, I digress. I know you got things to do, so I'm going to let you go. You can stay if you like and watch. I don't know if I can keep you on because we have so many people coming up. We can only have I think 6 people on at a time. But thank you so much again, Felicia Lynn, for coming on. And again, we'll have to get you back soon.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Okay. So now it is the last show before Halloween this year. So a couple of weeks ago, we had Alan Hops and Dan Caro on to talk about haunt attractions and the events where we use scare actors to give people a thrill. And we decided tonight to bring on a slew of scare actors. And let's bring some of those people up right now. Sidney Dragon is here. Kim Donavan is here. Robert, the dead guy Sandler, is here. The last time we did one of these Zooms, he was all decked out in makeup. He was he got ready for it. So welcome to the show.
Yay, we're in a show.
Is Jonathan still here?
No, this is everybody who's here. Felicia's still here, though, if you want me to bring her back up.
Okay, we can. But Jonathan bailed out, huh?
Yes, and
before the show started.
Robin is not here anymore either. So you might want to check on them.
Okay, yeah, Robin was saying that it just wasn't working. Kim, how's it sounding on your end? You were having some problems getting in as well. Kim?
I think she froze up.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, well.
that's California for you.
Funny you say that. We had a guy on, Mike Wilson came on, and he was from California. And, he had horrible troubles with the StreamYard. And he said he hated Zoom for the same reason. And we had to phone in his interview. So if you're listening, Kim, you can phone us.
Phone us my number, Rory.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, now it's going back to the old. It's casual. Phone in this number. Renee, do you got my other number? The Aaron number?
You might have to text it to me. I don't think I have that phone number. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Kim is actually still here. She's just frozen.
She's frozen.
Video. Yeah.
Yeah. We had from California. We had Bruce Glover on a couple of weeks ago, the actor from a zillion movies, Crispin Glover's dad, and he had to phone in his interview for the same types of reasons. So, give me 1 second, folks.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Hi, Robert. How are you? I haven't seen you in ages. How you been?
Hi, Sidney. You got to come to see me at work because I'm surrounded by all those cars. I can't get away.
We just moved to Kissimmee, so
I'll
get out there one day. Unfortunately, you miss seeing the baby.
Yeah. Well, I've got 1,000 babies, and they're all made out of steel. I can't get away from them.
Mine just poops and eats all the time.
I'm glad mine don't. That would be a horrible
Poops
situation.
and eats all the time. I heard that.
I'm talking about my baby.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's Jonathan, and he's
Thanks,
upside
Jonathan.
down. He must be in Australia.
And it's like he froze up too.
Yep. He looks like a spirit.
Oh my God.
Hey, Phoenix, come here.
This
Stick
silly
your head in
fuck.
here. See, there's my 12-year-old.
Oh my God, he got huge.
Yes, he did. He got big. Say
He's
hi,
a big
Rory.
kid. He's a big kid. He really is.
Look, it's the Tasmanian Phoenix.
That's what I call him. That's what I call him.
Go ahead and brush your hair, brush your teeth, babe. See, you got to do dad stuff too.
I am now having to write my number down on a sheet, take a picture of it, and send it to Renee so she can send it to Kim.
Felicia, I've got one question about your makeup. Didn't Winifred, wasn't her,
What then?
the two front teeth, weren't they what? Weren't they buck?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
I know they don't make
Who's
vampire
back?
buck teeth, but
Mhm.
it's an amazing makeup. My memory is like super spotty.
Rory, Kim is here.
Hi, I re-logged in.
All right, they weren't
okay.
quite buck,
Technical
they were
difficulties.
just,
There we
they
go.
were, all right.
In case you go out again, though, Renee has my other number, so you can call her. But okay, let's find out where you guys started scare acting. Sidney, you go ahead and go first.
It was at the Haunted Grimm House in Old Town actually my first official day was Christmas Day of 1993. The reason they hired me was because I would work Christmas Day.
Okay,
What?
that's a good reason, I guess.
That's the reason they hired me. Not that I could do crazy things with my voice or whatever, but yeah, because I
That
would
was just
work
a
Christmas
bonus
Day.
later.
Yeah.
And Robert,
What was the question again? I'm sorry, I'm old.
where did you start scare acting? How did you start?
Like my first haunted house ever, or how did I start becoming a scare actor?
You go with what you feel is comfortable.
It actually started when I was 8 years old. I worked at the community haunted house, and they just stuck me in I had a really cool Eddie Iron Maiden mask and a hood, and they put me in the very last room in the haunted house, so that I wouldn't have to be a big impact. But the reporter that year actually was an idiot, and he came in the back door, and he thought he was coming in the front of the haunted house, and he got a picture of me, and he put me on the front page, and I was instantly famous. I still have that newspaper, and I've been doing it all I can, every bit I can, ever since.
And you were 8 years old.
I was 8 years old.
Oh, jeez. Child labor. Kim?
I started at Terror on Church Street in July of 1995. So I was there for about a year. Then I moved over to Skull Kingdom for a few years, or no year. Then I left, and then I came back.
Yeah. And there's your familiar. Yeah, we were talking about how a lot of people jumped ship at Terror and moved over to Skull Kingdom because it was a giant skull castle that was going up, so they just thought that was cool, and then
there was like a year gap in between my Terror. Like I left under different circumstances.
Oh, okay.
And then was working at Universal, and then Sean Tierney told me that this new place called Skull Kingdom was opening up, so then I went over to Skull Kingdom. So that's how that happened.
Because actually, Kim, I don't know if you remember, but you trained me on front cash partially.
I do.
I remember that very well. See, we have a special bond.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. Who would you typically? I mean, let's talk about the role of the scare actor. And there's Jonathan again. He's coming back. That's good. Let's find out how he got started. And then we'll go into this next question, which is about the roles that the characters play in the castle. You've got front cash, you've got the greeter, outside,
Walk around.
Walk
It was
around.
the walk around.
Walk around.
Oh, Jonathan's
Yay,
upside down.
Jonathan!
How do you get upside down? He's a real vampire.
No, he's up. He's right side up from me.
No, he's
I
upside
see a
down on
black-
mine.
I just see a black square.
I see him upside down as well.
And he's frozen again.
Jonathan, can you hear us? Can you talk? No.
No.
Or he's playing very, very still. I can do that. I can still do that.
So walk around again is outside the attraction, and they're trying to pull the customers to pay the money.
Yep.
And front cash takes the money. They're usually dressed up as in a scary outfit as well.
I liked being the English butler because I could be rude to people.
Well, and again, I remember that about you. You said the funnest part of the job was that you just got to insult people and you get away with it
Repeatedly.
And that was just so much fun. And I learned that from you doing front cash. You were the one that trained me on front cash. And then Greeter did the first impact and brought them into the attraction. And in Skull Kingdom, in the case of Skull Kingdom, we would take them up to a certain area, and then we would cut them loose in the clown area. And I was hoping Dana could be here. I invited him. He sent me a message just before the show saying that he couldn't get out of work. But he was up in clown a lot, and man, he just said the craziest stuff when he was up there in clown. He was an insane clown.
George used to do this thing where he would get behind the trampoline wall and make the noises of the Martians from Mars Attacks.
I remember that.
People would doing that. He would just wig out on that, like.
Okay, now let me explain to the audience what you mean by trampoline wall. What they did was they folded a trampoline up, and people had to walk through that as a walkway. And we were on the other side of the bottom side of the trampoline on both sides, beating it with our hands and making noise to disorient them, to scare them. And the funniest story I think I ever heard about that was Dupa said
Brian Pastor.
that when people were walking through there, someone said, "Oh my God, the floor is spongy.
It's so spongy."
Spongy. And when he got to Scream, which was Ghostface, and Ghostface slashed him and ducked out, he went, "Oh!" Same guy. And said, "I thought it was a freaking statue."
Oh, I miss our Scottish guests.
So yes, we would get guests from all around the world to come in. It was in Orlando, so it was an attraction for the entire world to come to, and it was right around the corner from Universal Studios.
Right catty-cornered from Wet and Wild.
I was telling Sydney that I remember one night when Dwight and I came out, there was hardly anybody in the castle, and it was really creepy because we were the only ones walking through, and that was like so creepy. And I just remember walking through a pitch black room, and all I felt was this hot breath on the back of my neck, and I screamed bloody murder.
Well, the place was haunted.
It was Dwight.
I can attest to this. Even though I didn't get to work with you guys, I was in technically the Skull Kingdom equivalent of the second equivalent of Terror, because I worked at Terror 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then I worked at Skull Kingdom the Zia years. And
poor thing.
I've heard about that.
I had fun. Don't get me wrong, when he was in action, there was a good 6 or 7 months that I had a blast because they cut the day. He had a day shift family show that was supposed to be, no actors, no effects, everything with the lights on. He would get there at 10 in the morning. I would meet him by 11. He was gone. I had the keys. It was just me and whoever the day tech was, either the electric guy or the plumbing guy. And until the sun went down, it was just me in the castle, and I did all the scares and I did everything. And I had a horrible, wonderful time with the guests, treating them horribly. They'd come in the front door. They'd buy the tickets. I'd put them through the turnstile, have them wait at the front door. Jonathan is attempting to join in again.
Yeah.
And then as soon as at the door, I'd say, "Just wait a minute." I'd rush around, go to the front door, lock it, and then shake it twice and turn to them and say, "Nobody knows you're here, right?" "Right." And then go back, sneak through the office, around back to the door, and then pop the door open after a second, scare the shit out of them, and walk them through with me and do all the bits. But there was one time when we were going through, and I don't know if this effect was an act when you guys were there or whether it was something that was added in later, but did you guys have a giant door with chains on it and pneumatics that had a dog barking effect behind it?
I don't remember that.
It would have been just before it would have been just before the Egyptian exhibit before Cemetery.
Yeah, I don't even remember the Egyptian exhibit.
So there was this giant door that had a big pneumatic ram behind it and 3 giant hefty chains, and massive dog barking behind it. And you'd walk by it, would trip a sensor, and the thing would back and forth, and the dogs would bark, and you would think there was like Cerebus behind it. And this thing had been offline for a good long time and not working. And I'm going through with these people, and we go by it, nothing happens. And then we get into the cemetery, and I hear the thing going off. And we have to go back and check it because it's just me and them and nobody in the building. So I'm thinking somebody's messing back there. A hobo got into the building or something. And so we go back and check, and it's doing nothing. And I start yelling at this door. And while I'm yelling at it, it fires off. So we buck out of there. We're moving through the place. We get into the spiral, the spiral staircase down, and we're down in where the alien thing would have been.
Right.
And at that point, on the floor above us, we hear this child footsteps running across the hallway right above our heads. And at that point, we all freak the hell out and run out together. And later that day,
the castle was haunted.
Yeah, and then later that day, I went back I told this to our tech about the doggy door thing, and he went back, and when I told him, his face went white because he said, "I have to show you something." We went up to the doggy to the back of the door where all the soundboards and everything are, and he showed me that the pneumatic ram, for one thing, was disconnected, and for another thing, the entire rack of all the electrics was unplugged. Yet this thing fired off twice that day.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any logic sense to me other than it's got to be ghosts. Got to be ghosts.
Yeah, I've heard other stories about the castle being haunted and crazy things, weird things happening in the castle when there was this like after hours or when people were there by themselves. But what I wanted to address because you mentioned it was places like Grimm House. There was only like one actor or two actors doing the whole show, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was done in circles.
The way it was originally set up, it was a T hallway. So you had a long bit here, and then it stretched that way, and there was door, cage, window, mirror. So there's like 4 or 5 different scares you could get. The best scare one guy
putting on different masks and
I
ducking
have
out this window
masks and just pull them on in.
Opening up this door. What are you doing here? Boom.
The best scare I ever got though were these. The last room before they went downstairs had a coffin in it, and there was a voice in it saying, "Let me out, let me out." Of course, everyone think, "Oh, I'm going to jump out there." We were in the corner in the shadows, and originally we were supposed to jump out and booga or whatever Vern wanted us to do. I found I got a much better scare just by leaning over and whispering, "Get out," in their ear. And I mean, you want to talk about watch people freak and panic. But these 3 guys came through and they spoke no English. Now, I know a smattering of Spanish here and there. And I leaned over as they walked by and said the first thing in Spanish that came to mind, which was from Monty Python, which was, "Cuidado es llamas." Be careful, there are llamas. And these guys lost it.
Did it work?
Yeah, they screamed like girls. One ran into a wall. They turned the corner. They were pulling the 3 Stooges, and they're pulling each other by the pants to get out first. And I'm like, I guess they don't like llamas. They were frightened by llamas as a child.
Again, what a strange thing to say.
It's just
so totally out of
Jinx used to jump up and scream, "Pollo Pollo Loco, crazy fire chicken."
Now, Kim, on the other end of the spectrum, you worked at Terror. How many actors did they usually do? How many actors usually did the show at Terror?
I think we had at least like 10 or 15 a night.
Yeah.
They were only open at night. They were not open during the day, so we had a full cast every night.
Yeah, they actually had a full cast all the time. I mean, there were times at Skull Kingdom, when we were working with only 3 or 4 people, I think, the entire castle.
Yeah.
And again, people would have to double up and do different places. But not like Grimm House, where it was one guy doing everything.
Yeah. Now, Tara, it kind of worked like a
Sydney in
well-oiled
there pulling
machine.
pulleys.
Although my friend John also worked there, and he was at the far end of the scare hallway and heard the door go off for someone walking in, and he just screams out, "Who dares enter my home?" And the bell went off, and they ran down the stairs and out the door.
Well, we actually in Skull Kingdom, they actually had a place in the library where if it was too scary for you, and again, you didn't even get hit with the really serious stuff yet. Well, okay, they had to go through clowns. They had to go through clowns. But where they would let you go down to the elevator of shame, as we call it. It's like, if this is too much for you, you can bail out now, but you had already paid your money. And I guess, how much was it? Like $20, right?
It was $12.50 when I left. When I left, I think he had just raised it up to $15.
Okay, all right.
It was like $12.50 a shot. No,
it would have been $20
price.
today, but yeah. That was
eventually raised it to
$19.99.
$12.95. No refund.
So yeah, if you went down in the elevator shame, you did not get a refund.
Nope.
And I actually have video of a group telling this girl, she said, I said, I can't take this anymore. And she's going to go. And Shugor has to tell her, you'll have to wait here for a minute while I take the group through.
You mean Sugar?
I'll be back to bring you down.
I miss Sugar.
Sugar! What were some of your favorite characters that you played?
Mine was the snotty English butler, because I got away with absolute murder.
Mr. Dragon.
That's probably my favorite one to play there. Of course, it was the same at Grimm House.
Robert? Favorite characters? You can name more than one.
Favorite characters, I would introduce myself as Creepy Rob, as it became a nickname. Just me and grease paint, just the thing I always did. But I remember working at Terror 2. Every time I got to play Dracula, that was the best, because they assigned me to the Drac lift, and best scare I ever got of that is I knocked a guy out by using his girlfriend as a weapon. The only way I can describe that is a lot of people on the Drac lift, they would come out from the top of the lift and float down. I did the reverse. I would pop out and rise up. And this guy and girl came in. She was just about a half a head shorter than he was. And you know how girls would come with their boyfriends right behind them? Well, I scared her so bad, she snapped her head back and knocked him out, broke his nose.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was a code red, but I loved playing that Dracula character every time.
At Skull Kingdom, we had a guy named Drac.
I would love to, yeah.
And
I've heard about him. He
he was quite a character. He even had his own hearse that he drove to work in, and he would call himself Dracula, right?
Yep.
And at Christmas time, he would do Jacob Marley from Christmas Carol, and yeah, Drac was something else. Kim, what are some of your favorite characters? You had a lot of characters. You're like me. You went through a lot of characters.
I tried.
Well, that was part of the fun of it.
I mean, at Terror, like the most fun room to work it's the only room I worked, because I didn't usually work in the show. I worked mostly cash, so I did my own characters there. But like in the show, I did Exorcist, which was fun because it's just the room itself is so ridiculously creepy. Just everything that they did a fantastic job with the decor, the sounds, the lights, the effects, and so.
Yeah, Alan and Dan talked about that the show a couple weeks ago.
I got the best scares off of that room. As far as individual characters that I created, like I liked Dolores Kilder. She was a walk around character that I did at Skull Kingdom, and she was like the 80s prom girl who killed the prom queen and like carried around her head.
I remember that character. That was a great character.
Renee, do we still have do we have the pictures of Kim? We have a couple of character shots.
Yeah, I'll just
She
scroll
might be
through them because there's a lot of them. I'll just scroll through them. Is that okay?
Okay.
There's a
I
lot.
asked for a few, so I sent like six. That's like 5 to 10.
Yeah, and I actually had a few from a while back when I did a painting of you, but yeah, the ones that you sent me this past week, we have 3 or 4 of those that I was hopefully we were ready to show. We'll see if we can find them. The ones with Kim at the beginning of them. Kim as
What?
Kim as bloody cheerleader. The clown one was interesting, or if it was a clown, it was kind of more like a kind of a banshee kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that was my Halloween costume for last year. Just kind of threw together.
Oh, so you didn't use that one to actually scare people at an attraction? Okay,
No, actually, these are I posted more recent pictures. These are from just Halloween. So the Halloween cheerleader, that was from 2 years ago.
There you go.
That one. That was
there you are, buddy
on
cheerleader.
Orlando in
A
2019.
nurse. Used to play a nurse. Used to play a French maid. There we go. That one.
Yeah, that was last year's Halloween.
You haven't lost it. You still got your touch.
I try.
There's Dana. Dana was Michael Myers up in the alley. He was also Scream or a Ghostface, we should call him. There's him and
That's
Sidney
me and Dana, yeah,
in the day.
with my crazy hair.
And there's Jinx and as Al kill ya, and Dana as the doctor.
I'll kill you. Yeah, I remember him.
I'll kill you. There's some of our clowns. That's Ivan at the bottom.
Those are great.
I was hoping he'd pop in. I think that's Dana on the left. There's Ivan in the middle of that picture as well. That's at his haunt attraction that he's at now, and I believe it's in Texas. That's me as Lester Cole, one of the characters I did up in Alley. Cletus the Redneck Zombie. They only let me do him in Halloween.
Can't
Mr.
imagine.
Hyde. That was probably one of my favorite characters because I got to play 2 characters. I got to play Jekyll and Hyde. So I'd be, oh yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Follow me this way. Come on, follow me.
It's sugar.
Sugar. There's Alan and his wife. This is a picture he posted just today, I think, on Facebook. He said, "Me and the wifey." That's Sid.
That's
Now,
me.
where was this, Sid? This is obviously
That was a shot. Dan Caro called me a couple of years back and said, "Hey, we're doing some filming for a haunt in Germany that they were putting together." And he said, "Here, just put this on, put this on, put this on. Okay, go." I'm like, okay, I'm easy.
The butcher. And there's
No.
you with Jinx, the mayor.
That's at Grimm House. That's back
that
at
Grimm House?
That's Grimm House. Back in the day, that's like probably mid 90s,
Oh, wow.
95, maybe 96.
I had the pleasure of working with him at Petrified Forest a couple of years ago when I first moved back.
Oh, he's a hoot.
Oh, Jinx is the best.
Then I don't know, you can barely tell, but
There's
the
Jonathan.
I love the exterior of that building.
That's Grimm House, isn't it?
That was Haunting a Legend. That was Legends of Haunting at Old Town, which was in Grimm House. They redid Grimm House.
Well, they redid it. And there he is as Valak, the first vampire from the movie Vampires by John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got some pictures of George too. He was supposed to join from Japan, but then I got a message right at showtime saying, "Oh, I'm going to work now."
Oh.
So I guess he just wanted me to show the pictures.
Yeah.
What was the craziest thing that ever happened when you were, on duty? Robert had a woman knock her boyfriend out, but I'm betting there's a crazier story than that.
I was working front cash, and we had just gotten break group. The group was, so everybody was going into the break room, and this drunk man came in, and he kept trying to find the bathroom, and like, we didn't have a bathroom. It was upstairs. We didn't let people use it. So he starts walking around. I'm like, "No, sir, that's not it." And no, that's not it. And then he just stopped in front of me and said, "Thank you. Thank you." thank you. And I'm like, why is he? Oh my God, what's that smell? He just let it go. And I called Doug. I'm like, Doug, I need you at the front. I'm busy right now. Doug, I
Clean
need
up
you.
on front cash.
I'm busy right now. Doug, a guy just peed on the floor. I'm cleaning up vomit in the Mayan temple. So I'm just like,
Wow.
that was probably the nuttiest. I'm just like, the timing.
Go to Denny's. It's right up the street. There's George.
There's George.
That is his Edward Scissorhands. I wish that I had a picture of him with the scissor hands out because those were beautiful. And him and Jokol. He's doing Darkman there. I love Darkman. The Crow.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is Mr. Bones, he says. I never saw this character. I never saw him do this one. Very good.
Yeah.
Robert, what was the craziest thing that ever happened when you were haunting?
Oh God, the craziest thing that ever happened when I was haunting. Oh Lord, there are all right. There's a really good one that I tell a lot at Skull Kingdom. So we had I was up in the library, and they had rigged the trigger to the library action in one of the big chairs that was just next to the elevator. And this one year I decided to dress up like one of the animatronics in the room, and they were all like just sitting in chairs, and they looked really bad. I was wearing these 7-inch Frankenstein boots, and I'm 6'1", so they made me like 6'8", 6'9". And I'm just wearing a big hooded robe and things like that. And I'd sit in the chair, and we got this group coming through that it was a perfect group because there were a bunch of like basically all-American cheerleaders in the group. And, cheerleaders are just about the easiest goddamn scare possible. So I had the timing down in the room to every single light out, light on, because the lightning would flash and the lights would go out intermittently with the lightning flash effects. So the girl is standing about, I'd say, a foot in front of me, and the lights go out, and I'm in. The lights are on, and I'm in my sitting position. The lights go out, and I stand up in that fraction of darkness. And when the lights come back on, I'm looming over her. She screams so goddamn bloody loud. And then I sort of hear a noise. She's peeing. And then the door swings open, the wall swings open behind her, and she's still frozen in place. And I just point, and they get the idea. She does a 180, attempts to run, but does a Scooby-Doo run in place movement because she's in a puddle. And then she and her friends are gone. And I look down and I realize she's lost a flip-flop in the maneuver. So thank God I have a glove on. I reach down, I pick the thing up by an edge. I go down the elevator, I ride the elevator down, I get out the exit door, and I wait because I know in about a minute she and her friends will be out this door with the rate they're running through the place at this point. And sure enough, they make the entire distance in about a little under 60 seconds, which means they've really been plowing through everybody. And I probably screwed up the scare for everybody else that's waiting on beyond me. They burst through the door, and I'm there waiting for them. And they stop dead in front of me. And I look at the girl and I say, "You dropped this." Fling it at her. She catches it in her chest, and they all book past me out the back door. One of my best scares, wildest things ever. And that's documented by Seth Shabursky in one of he says, he quotes about all the things I reminisce about making girls pee their pants. One of my favorite all-time scares.
Kim, what's the craziest thing that ever happened when you were on duty?
I don't know. I wish I had something that exciting or funny to tell. Like, I heard about everybody else's stories. Mine, the only thing that comes to mind is I mean, it's kind of sad because he was mentally challenged, but I had a mentally challenged teenager flip out on me, just started like flailing his arms at me, and I was kind of terrified for my life, but his family managed to get him off of me. But it was like in the mosquito hallway. But
again, you just never know when something like that's going to come through. I couldn't believe that people would bring little kids, like 5-year-olds through the castle. One of the craziest things that ever happened when I was on duty, and I was shoe whore, was I had a group and it had like a 6-year-old kid. And the kid was not flipping out or anything, but he was nervously asking me a whole bunch of questions through the whole spiel. I was trying to get to the spiel in the beginning. Do not go backwards, only move forwards. Look for the door with the I'm gonna skull him. And this kid is asking me all kinds of questions. Are you a giant? I look at him and I go, your father is taller than me. You call me giant. And again, he just kept on and kept on, and I was just I had to really fight not to laugh. This kid was so nervous, he just kept asking questions. But he didn't. He went through the entire castle. He did.
Because I would
Felicia,
try to
what
stop.
was one of the craziest things that happened during one of your performances?
When I was actually, when I did Patsy Cline over in California one time, I was actually finished with the show, and I was talking with the activities director, and it was it was like an scale assistant living, and this lady walks by, and she says to the director there, "Yep, she still sounds the same. That's her."
You didn't hear about that plane thing, did you? Oh, jeez. Wow. That was
great.
Well, that's a great testament to your abilities.
Yeah, it was a compliment, though. When you think about it.
Most of the casts of the haunts created their own costumes. So you guys created all your own costumes, am I right?
Me?
Well, yeah, and you create your own costumes too, as well, don't you?
Yeah.
I think we feel better when we do it ourselves, when we create something that's just for us to perform in. So I always, I mean, I saw what was on the racks at Skull Kingdom. It's like,
I still have stuff that's from the racks.
Everything was like made for men, so I had no choice because like nothing fit me, so I kind of had.
Well, again, what's the process there? I mean, sometimes I would go to Goodwill to see if I could find nice old clothes to stress.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
And bloody up. Because you had like a prom gown that had blood all over it.
Yeah.
I think Daniela used to have a wedding dress that was all bloodied up and painted up.
Oh, Daniela.
I invite her.
Yeah,
but it was
unfortunately
a last-minute invite. But what was it like? What was it like doing shows, scare haunts, attractions in late October? I'm just going to leave that open to the floor. It's different.
A blur. Rack 'em and stack 'em.
Yeah,
anywhere
it's crazy,
from
wasn't it?
Dead, depends on where you are. Sometimes, like work in Orlando, if you're working the independent haunts and you're trying to work against Halloween Horror Nights, sometimes the attractions are dead. Sometimes you would get the overflow depending on where you're at. Halloween in New York 2015, that was amazing. I got to work. Sidney, you remember we lost Sidney. I was going to say, hey, Sidney, and he
come back.
Remember something and he disappears. Maybe I start.
He jinxed it.
But oh God, his name just popped out of my head. He used to be one of the managers at Kim. What I know he's on your Facebook too. Under Aslan.
From Blood Manor.
No, you know Aslan Halloran, right?
Doesn't ring a bell.
He used to be one of the managers at of Grimm House, and he's worked every other haunted house. He's up in New York now. He was the manager of Times Scare. And he kept running.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember actually ever working with him. I know I'm Facebook friends with him. I know he's mentioned about the Times Square, but I don't.
All right, Sydney, you remember Aslan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, in 2015 he finally got me to work, go up and work Times Scare, which was ironically the last year ever. But God, Halloween! I remember we had a line wrapped around the block, and I was working the line, and it was insane. So yeah, late Halloween is it can be the worst, can be the best.
It's again at Skull Kingdom. They would hire more actors to work that week than any other time. You know, everybody was on full time on that week. Again, they would let us play scarier characters that we couldn't play throughout the year. Like I couldn't do Cletus the Redneck Zombie except on Halloween week. And
we love Cletus.
Halloween night. So I did that one 2 years in a row just on Halloween night. And Wolfie could do his werewolf. He couldn't do it year round because he had scared a girl so bad she ran out into an ice cream truck. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago.
Did she die?
No. She ran into the ice cream truck.
Ah, okay. Not in front of the ice cream truck.
It didn't run her over. But
so I remember the year that Halloween fell on a Saturday.
Oh.
And basically I went to the castle on Friday morning and I left Sunday evening.
Oh man.
I went home in between, but it's like I worked from like 9 a.m. till midnight or 2 a.m. or whatever, and had an A shift to start, and it was by the end of it, I'm like, just kill me now. I'll be a prop. Just stick me up in a room somewhere. I'll be fine.
Who's the scariest scare actor you ever worked with?
Michael Ballin.
Okay.
He never failed to get a scare as greeter.
Okay.
It's like, and people would like, I got knocked over several times just standing there. And it's not like he came out like loud or they just this way and just knocked everybody over.
Robert?
God, that's a hard one. The one that comes to mind is anybody here remember Damien Carrion?
Yep.
He had the, oh my God, the guy had the best costumes, the things that were just the man. He scared me. I never wanted to meet him somewhere else. He had this one great thing that it was a plush rabbit head that he gutted and turned into a Halloween mask. And I wish the guy was rake skinny, so he could fit into everything. But man, he gave some great scares.
Kim?
I feel like Dave Traxler could scare people without even really trying. He's so tall.
Let me explain to the audience. Dave Traxler was how tall was he? 7'2"?
6'9".
6'9".
6'9".
Yeah.
And he was a bulky guy back then. He'd lost weight actually. I heard he's working at Disney. But at the time we worked with him, he was really a Hulk. I mean, the guy had big, broad shoulders, and they would have him play Jason up in the alley upstairs. And whenever he came out, people ran. he was larger, literally larger than life.
I hired him to be a zombie for a Z-Day event at Hard Knocks some years ago. And I remember he was the biggest zombie I had on crew because I had some little people, and there's some pictures on my Facebook that, oh my God, the guy was huge. And he was scary too, very much so.
And I swear I remember him coming out with from the break room with salt and pepper shakers and like seasoning people, and they were waiting and laughing.
That's Dave.
Salt and pepper shakers. Sid?
Yep.
Oh, you already answered that. I'm sorry. My next question is, what scares you? What are you afraid of?
Diapers.
Diapers.
I have a lot.
Dirty diapers.
Well, my wife has decided that we're going to just cloth diaper, so
Oh,
it's a lot of washing diapers. No, I'm kidding.
That can scare any father, I think.
I got some in the back if you want. No, I'm just kidding. As far as like honestly, real things that scare me, like snakes.
Yeah.
Don't like snakes. Don't like stuff like that. I'm good with heights, just not falling from them.
Well, there you go.
Tumbling downstairs. No, wait, never mind.
Well, that's another story for another time.
Oh,
Robert,
yes.
what scares you? Anything?
Brazilian tourists, definitely. Endless conga lines of Brazilian tourists.
Oh man, we did so many of them, didn't we?
Oh my god.
Oh my
yes.
God! What do Brazilian tourists do when they get scared? They start singing in their native language, and they bottleneck. And you have 3 groups of 15 come out as one conga line of 45. But no, in real life, working customer services, and as long as I have, not much actually.
Working for Zia.
Hardened you, didn't it?
Hey, working for Zia hardened me for working for the people I work for now. Well, Zia
Prepared you.
I'm working for someone that's kind of like Zia, but he's Jewish and he has about $20 billion that he's not willing to spend. But I like his car collection very much so. Yep.
All right, Kim, what scares you?
I mean, I'm not a fan of anything height-wise, skydiving, bungee jumping,
Okay.
anything like that. As far as creepy crawlies, not a fan of roaches at all.
My
yeah.
daughter's with you there.
Not undomesticated rats. Like if somebody has a pet rat, I'm fine with petting it, playing with it. But if it's like a random rat that shows up on my balcony, I'm not having of those.
Like the one your cat is playing with right now?
Yeah, that one. I don't like that one.
Felicia, what scares you?
Definitely heights. Yeah. I don't know. I just a lot of things. When I think about it, but I try not to think about it.
Sorry to make you think about it. Well,
I hate elevators.
As hard as it probably is to believe, we've gone an hour and 3 minutes, so we have to call it a night. But thank you so much for coming on and talking about the scare acting and what scares you, and hopefully it's been a little Halloweeny treat for everybody. Thank you, Renee. What scares you, Renee?
The Braves losing the World Series.
Ah! Darn it! I can't get away from it. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye.